Welcome to Cocktails Over Coffee, a podcast dedicated to spotlighting individuals who have taken a leap of faith by leaving their corporate careers, otherwise known as their coffee, and taking on their passion projects, otherwise known as their cocktails. I'm Janine Cabrini, and I am so excited to be here today with Janine.
Hi.
Janae and Janine. I love that.
Take over the world.
Cheers.
Yes.
Thank you for being here.
Of course.
Janine actually helped me make this cocktail. We're drinking.
She did a good job.
We're drinking an old fashioned. She helped me with the garnishes. Also, because I have nothing in my kitchen, so this was a struggle. Speaking of not cooking, let's talk about you.
Okay.
Okay. So tell me, what was your coffee? What did you used to do? Where did you start out?
Okay. My coffee was the financial world. I started as a private banker.
Okay.
In Midtown, and I was there for about 2.5 years, and I actually left at the peak of my career. My book of business was like a lot of money. Like I was balancing maybe like 150 to 180 million, and I was like,
jeez.
oh yeah,
Jeez.
yeah, literally Midtown Park Avenue, the creme de la creme of that area.
Wow.
And I was like, but then I transitioned into financial crimes,
Okay.
which is more like a financial cop. You're working with the FBI, the government, the legalities of finances, what they're doing with their funds. Are they, contributing to illegal activity? So I did that for like 2 years, and then I was like, yeah, no. As soon as I got promoted, I was like, this is not it.
Yeah.
I don't drink coffee, so it's like,
oh, good. Well, you're the perfect guest for Cocktails Over Coffee.
it was like I was drinking a lot of tea.
Okay.
And I was like, you know what? It's just time to leap. At the time, I was already having my catering company.
Yeah.
And I was like, just go for it. Actually, the real honest story is that the creative collectives, remember when they used to have those like Eventbrites?
Yeah.
But like back in the day when it was like 20
the smaller
of us,
meetups.
40 of us.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I remember I stood up and I was like, I'm not into technology and I really just need to launch my catering company.
Yes.
And Michael got up and he was like, just do it. Like, just buy the Squarespace.
Don't we love Michael for that? That's why we love Michael.
He was like, just do it. Just buy the Squarespace. I bought the Squarespace. And I, like, for 5 months, I came home every day after work and just, like, figured out how to build my website because I wanted to do it for myself.
Yeah.
And I launched in 2017, February.
Okay.
And I left that summer.
Oh, wow.
I gave it my 2 weeks and I was out.
And was there any moment that you officially decided it's time to go? Or was it a build-up over time?
It was a build-up.
Okay.
It was a build-up. I didn't feel, as you would say, I wasn't passionate.
Like, you weren't
I was
fulfilled.
really good. No, I was really good at my job, but it was just like we all are good at what we need to be good at in order to pay our bills.
Exactly.
And feed our lifestyles, which I love to travel, I love to shop, so I love to eat.
Yes.
So I was like, I need a certain, lifestyle. And then I just gave it my 2 weeks.
And so you bought the domain, you bought the Squarespace. What else did you do, though, to prepare leaving? Were you saving? Were you...
Yes.
like?
I actually my lifestyle, I really live below my means, as I was telling you earlier.
Wow, that is so rare.
Yeah, I really do. I'm really a simple person. My lifestyle is extravagant. Look at my Instagram. I'm traveling 3 to 4 times a year. I'm eating at fancy restaurants, but like, I'm not a shopper. Like, I'll probably buy a Chanel bag every 5 years. And between that, I'm fine. Like, I'm not a shopper. I don't spend a lot of money besides Uber.
That takes all of our money. So you didn't have to scale back too much?
No.
Okay.
No.
So that's nice that it wasn't like a culture shock for you.
No, it wasn't. Yeah.
And so tell me, what's your cocktail? What are you doing now?
As I sip this
Sips
wonderful
cocktail.
So I launched a premium catering service that included services as personal chef, catering events, catering weddings, corporate events, as well as catering for like film and like photo shoots, when they have like their food table setups. I did that as well. And now I'm actually I've added a sector called nutritional consulting. Like, personally, I eat very well.
Yeah.
I'm plant-based. I'm very aware of what I eat, what I put on my body. And I do that within my family and my friends. But my friends are just like, why don't you just make this a part of your business?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I launched...
That's a really important part, especially because I think everyone's getting to be a little bit more health conscious.
Right.
And people sometimes don't exactly know how to start that lifestyle and like what's best for them, because there's so many fad diets, but doesn't mean that one diet is gonna...
all the trend.
Exactly.
It's all the trend. As well, business-wise, I mean, it's like a 1.8 billion entity right now.
Wow.
Yeah, industry, so I need to get my piece.
Yeah, definitely. And it sounds like you're getting your piece.
Yeah.
And so then what did that entail setting up your own business, your own catering business?
I mean, with catering, it's really just an action-based. I mean, you can cater and really not have a business entity established like an LLC, but I mean, if you're trying to get tax write-offs and the business side of it, then you really should. But I mean, there's chefs out there who are just cooking for fun, and you'll pay them over Cash App or something. Yeah. But for me, it's like I wanted the entity because I do have a vision of where I'm going. Like, ultimately, I want a nutritional consulting firm. I want restaurants. So I did have to establish it 100% business-wise to just build up my rapport. Yeah. Because when you're working with Fortune 500 companies, you have to have insurance. You have to have an establishment. You have to have a scene virtually for them to see, you know, where you've been and where you're going. Right. So was
there a lot of research involved in finding out how to set up a business?
Yes. LLCs with whether you're sole proprietor, corporation, it's a lot, right? Foreign language.
Wow.
But honestly, that is the key to wealth, because
no, it's true.
Yeah. This system, capitalistic system, is built for businesses, not for individuals. So you just have to get in the game and figure it out as you go.
So you set up your business first, or did you start cooking?
I started cooking first.
And then you set up your business?
Yeah, I officially had my LLC 2018.
Okay.
And I've been cooking since 2012.
Why did you decide that it was the right time to get your LLC?
Tax write-offs. You can write off your rent.
And I'm sure you were spending a lot of money.
Cabs and, you know, meetings, and you're going to a lot of, you know, let's grab a drink and discuss.
Exactly.
And you're paying for that. Like, all of those things could be written off under an LLC. So
exactly. It's time.
What?
Yeah. And that was a smart move, I'm assuming?
Yeah. Oh, the best.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and then so who was your first client?
Ooh. My first client, actually, I cooked for a firm. I don't think I should call their name, but it's a Fortune 500 firm that I actually used to work with when I was banking, and one of the VPs, he was actually my personal client in the bank. Yeah. Then I cooked for him, and he also actually advised me to do an LLC, because I would have been able to profit more and charge more from an entity perspective versus like a personal perspective.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And that is, I'm so glad that you said that, actually, because I think oftentimes when we're leaving our jobs and going off to start our own businesses or whatever it may be that we're doing, a lot of times your former employer can be your first client. And people don't realize that. That's why you don't burn bridges.
For sure.
You keep all those relationships, because that's usually, they know your work ethic.
For sure.
You have that relationship already there. And so I think that was really smart of you to make someone that you used to work with your first client.
Yeah. Because, I mean, people knew, like, I would talk about the way I talked about food, even my background, like working at Per Se, people die for that position.
Yeah.
So for me to leave so young, and everyone was just like, oh, you must really just love to cook. And I'm like, yeah. That's really just what I want to do. I don't want the politics of it. I don't want the extras that come with it. So it's just like,
you wanted to be fulfilled.
Yes.
And doing something that made you happy.
For sure.
That's really, I think what really pushes us to leave our jobs. Yeah. Is that you realize that your happiness is more important.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. You can be making thousands of dollars and you're just miserable.
It's true.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
How'd you learn to cook?
Girl, don't make me cry.
Oh, tell me. I want to know. Clearly you saw my fridge. I would love to know how you learned to cook.
So I come from a cooking family. Like, I was born and raised in Jamaica. I was raised on a farm. Like,
oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
What was that like?
The best life you can ever think of. Like, nothing compares. Not living on Park Avenue, not living in North, nothing.
Yeah.
You wake up, you know, my errands in the morning was like to go to the chicken coop and get the eggs while they're still warm and milk the cow.
I had no idea about this. It changes my perspective on you so much.
Yeah, that's why I say, like, I'm really a minimalist, because I see the duality of what's beneficial for you between the high fashion fast life in New York City and like living in a rural farm in Jamaica. Like, I have those two worlds, so it gives me a good medium where I stand.
Yeah.
So my grandmother, God rest her soul, I lost her 2 weeks ago.
So sorry to hear that.
Thank you. Like, the dinner table is the most important location in my family's house.
Really?
Like, you can play on the couch, you can put your shoes on the couch, but do not touch the china or the dinner table. The dinner table was like a source of love. That's how my grandmother and my mom showed. Even to this day, if you come to my mom's house, my mother offers you something to eat, you better take it.
I love that.
Yeah, it's just, that's our culture. So
did you guys have a formal dinner every night?
Every night. So
special, though.
Yeah.
It really is special.
Yeah.
I think it's so sad that element is taken away from so many families nowadays. So many. I wasn't allowed to eat in my room.
Yeah.
So if we were having dinner, it had to be at the table, and I thank my parents for that.
Yeah, and that's why I started this dinner series. It's called the Now Dinner Series. And when you come, it's a long dinner table.
Yeah.
And everyone sit, and everyone speak to each other, and it's served family style. So you have to speak to someone. Hey, can you pass me the lobster? Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah, it's an ode to my culture.
Okay, tell me more about the dinner series, though.
Okay, so the inaugural dinner series started for Friendsgiving, and the second one is on January 25th. It's in Brooklyn. It's in a...
By the way, the Friendsgiving one was gorgeous. Photos were stunning.
It's in the same location.
It looks so elegant.
It is so posh.
It was so pretty.
Everything's served on china. So we're celebrating the new year, but on January 25th, it's the Lunar New Year celebration, which is a Chinese tradition.
Okay.
So I'm implementing Chinese tradition influences into the menu. It's a surf and turf menu. So it's going to be lobster, shrimp, lamb, chicken, fish, everything just spread. And I'm encouraging everyone to be a part of the dress code, like the Chinese geisha girl kind of thing. And then there's going to be a karaoke party after and unlimited cocktails. So.
What made you want to start this series?
So I threw a lot of dinner parties at my house. And my friend, everyone would like, if my friends would post it, people were like, oh, Janine, why am I not invited? You know, like, why didn't I get an invite? Yeah. So my friend was like, just start a posh, like, dinner club kind of thing. And
where other people could attend.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And everyone has to dress up. It's not like, oh, I'm going to come and no. Like, I'm bougie to that extent.
I love a good dress code.
Fit. I need a lip color. Please.
Dress code
I need a heel.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. So it's a whole vibe.
Oh, entire vibe.
Where can people find, like, just so people know where to, like, find photos of this or find more information, where can they?
Everything's on my website, JanineCabrini.com.
Okay.
JanineCabrini.com. Tickets are there, pictures are there from the different events that we've had. So, yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, it sounds so incredible what you've built and what you've done, but I can imagine it hasn't always been easy. And there were probably some growing pains and some struggles.
Yeah.
Tell me about some of those.
I think the struggle is developing the business side.
Okay.
Because you learning your worth, especially in this day and age that everyone wants to be a chef on Instagram, it takes away from the art and the history of real chefs. Like, I went to high school for cooking. Like, I have an academy certificate, graduation with my high school diploma for cooking. Then I went to college and got a bachelor's degree, and I have a minor in culinary arts and nutrition. I went to Paris and cooked for 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, Paris.
Yes. Love Paris.
Is that something that you would encourage people to do if they do want to pursue cooking?
I mean,
or sorry, not pursue. If they want to pursue the culinary world, do you think that they need that education?
They don't.
They don't.
They don't.
Okay.
But culinary arts is equivalent to Fifth Avenue, Paris, London.
Yeah. It's like it's elevated cuisine.
Elevated. You have to know your numbers. You have to know math. You have to know timing. You have to know multitasking. That is a beast in itself. So it takes out the pleasure and the passion of cooking and more like the robotic institutive of, I know that I need to create this beautiful platform that someone's going to just love and adore just to look at. They're really not interested in eating it. It's just to look at.
It's exactly.
So
it's
like
the presentation.
deciding, right, the presentational. So you have to decide, is that where I want to go, or do I just want to cook to be happy and I just create my own recipes, and it's not about really the plating. It's just about people coming together and enjoying. So for me, I think really that's the joy in having a catering company, because I'm able to have that duality. Like the dinner series, I can just, no one knows the menu.
Oh,
that's
it's a
another
surprise.
thing. Yeah. So I just give you like, oh, it's surf and turf, but you don't know what you're legitimately eating or how it's going to be cooked. It's not like I'm telling you, oh, we're going to have a Thai red curry. No.
Yeah.
You don't know what's happening until you get there.
Right.
Like commonly when you go to like a Friendsgiving or you go to a friend's house, it's like, you know there's going to be food, but you don't know what's
going to be there. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So I get that. So I get to be creative, and then I get to, create beautiful events and menus for my clientele, which is specific to what they want according to their criteria.
Yeah.
So then I get that duality.
So obviously Paris has such a special place in my heart.
I know.
Because that's where I spent.
When I saw you traveling, I was like, ugh.
That's where I spent my summer, and that's really what I left my job for. And I would love to hear about your experience in Paris and what you learned there, what you did. Did you know French? Tell me everything.
Okay, so they did like a deep diving French course maybe like 3 months before we had to leave.
Yes.
But
Also, by the way, so chic that you went to Paris to cook. Like, that is the chicest thing ever.
It sounds chic.
Wait, what movie is that with Audrey Hepburn where she goes to Paris to learn how to cook? Is it?
I don't know. I don't own a TV yet. I'm not up on movies.
Oh my God. Okay, we have to talk about that in a second. Anyway, tell me about Paris.
I think Paris changed my life. That was the first country that I'd been to besides Jamaica.
Yeah.
And it was just so posh. So we cooked for the parliament, so the government. So we were in we were in the parliament house.
That is huge.
Yeah, it was insane.
That's also a lot of pressure.
It's exhausting.
I can imagine it is.
Yeah. But it was one of the best times of my life. We cooked with parliament and government. So you did the 3-year program in Brooklyn, at the school, and you were chosen to go there. Like, if you met the criteria, you knew what you were doing, you knew the corners of what French culinary is, then you'd able to go to exercise that. Did that for 3 months. Then we went out to the country to cook for Michelin starred restaurants that's just out in the middle of a field somewhere with lavender fields. There's a lavender field
in the south, right?
Yes. There's a restaurant not far from there that's it's only open during spring and summer.
Okay.
I did not understand French. Even though I did the deep diving class, I still didn't get it. Yeah. But it was just it was a beautiful exchange to interact with other people that was so passionate about food. Yeah. And it's cooking is really a language. Yes. Because I did not
agree. I
didn't have any bumps or bruises with trying to communicate, trying to get my message across. It was seamless, honestly.
You communicated through your food. So you didn't have to know French.
No, I didn't. Thank God.
And French are not patient if you do not know French.
That's true.
I'm sorry. That was one thing I learned.
I just apologize from the beginning. I'm sorry.
Yeah, from the very
American. Sorry.
Yeah, that was my thing. I was like, what's the first phrase I need to know? Sorry, I don't know French. Mm-hmm. And how was it living there and living abroad? Did you know anyone in Paris? That was kind of a leap in itself. Not only did you quit your job and go and pursue your passion of the culinary arts, you went and moved to Paris to learn how to cook. Well, we weren't learning how to cook.
No, we were just cooking.
You were just cooking. You were almost like perfecting your craft.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we're perfecting your craft. It was just like a submersive opportunity to submerge yourself in the culture. To, it's one thing to like just follow a recipe book, watch videos, and you're in a classroom versus you're in the country, you're in the space, you're surrounded by the culture.
Yeah.
Definitely top 5 experiences of my life.
Incredible. Have you been back to Paris since?
Yes, I went to Paris for New Year's Eve 2017.
Isn't it such a special city?
Yes.
But
it's special to me for the food.
Exactly.
Like, after I go to the Eiffel Tower, I'm like, okay. Like, there's this restaurant called Chez Henry. He does like an 8-hour smoked braised lamb. 8 hours.
Whoa.
Unmatched.
8 hours.
Unmatched.
The fact that anything in life would take that long it's a bit off-putting.
I mean, that's a typical Thanksgiving dinner. You're cooking for 8 hours.
I don't know much about that. So.
You wouldn't know, but you definitely enjoy.
You mean that the turkey you don't just throw it in the oven?
No.
Oh. Could have fooled me. I come downstairs when dinner's ready.
Right. Turkey's being braised the night before.
Yeah.
Popping in the oven for 4 hours.
You know what's I'm so happy to hear you talk about Paris and food, because there was one time this summer when I was in Paris and I went to this bar at, I forget the name of the hotel, but it was like one of these bars that was on a list of like things that you should do in Paris. It's like, go to this bar, order the usual. I was the only one there, and I was just like, okay, this is interesting. But the bartender was so funny. Like he was like taking Instagram videos of me, and I was like, he was telling me all about this like drink. But what I loved is that he was like, okay, how long are you here? What have you done so far? He's like, these are all of the things you need to eat while you're in Paris. These are all the places you need to go. He's like, have you tasted this yet? Like, we talked about food so much, and the French are so passionate about their food.
Yes.
And they really are like, they focus on quality. And that's the thing. It was just like, he's like, no, you've had this, but have you had it from here? And he's like, have you had champagne from this region? And the champagne.
Let's not.
The champagne in France.
We're not going to even talk about that. I visited.
It'll change your life.
A lot of chateaus. I mean, I had wine imported for like the next year after I left.
I mean, you can't go back to. There's certain things you can't go back to after Paris, and I will say your champagne is one of them. Your croissants is another.
Yeah.
What else?
Food.
It's just all the food.
It's just food for me.
I just ate so much good food. And you know what the mindset that I adapted in Paris was like enjoying my food, because it was my first night there. So I was in Paris to teach a course, obviously, and my course started the next day after I arrived. So I was kind of like stressed out, like got off the plane scrambling, like trying to get things ready. And I found this like little cafe near my flat, and I was like, oh, I'll have this to go. And he's like, oh, no, we don't do to go. And I was like, so you mean I have to sit here by myself and eat this food? And I remember, and I'm so happy it happened on my first night. I sat down on this sidewalk cafe, ate my food by myself, and I was like, this is my new lifestyle.
Yes.
And
the sidewalk cafes are the best.
They're the best. I would always see, it's like 2 old men with espressos and cigarettes and just it's really where you like, you really experience Paris on the sidewalk cafes.
Yeah. That's where I was every day.
Every day.
After work.
And I think that was where I learned to actually enjoy food. So now when I eat, I taste the food and I enjoy it, and I'm not so distracted, and I don't always get everything to go. No. I don't mind sitting and eating.
Yep.
And I think that was really important for me to do, because it also taught me to slow down.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to. When I eat, my phone is on silent.
Really? Every time?
say I'm meal prepping, and on Sunday, the first time I'm eating the meal that I cooked, my phone is on silent. My fiance knows that.
Oh my gosh. When did you start doing this? Like
forever.
Really?
Yeah. There's an art. Like, if you're not a cook, so you don't know, but it's like guacamole. When I go to a restaurant and I see guacamole and the tomato is the same size as the onion, like, no one takes the second to be like, tomato is round and an onion is round. So for someone to get these into squares, that takes talent. It takes talent. Someone's eyes are burning to cut you perfect purple onions to go in your guacamole.
I mean, you're so right.
Yeah.
I've never thought about my tomatoes and my onions and my guac.
I'm just like, wow.
See, and that's...
Like, who is in the kitchen? And they're like, oh, do you want to speak to the chef? Absolutely.
See, that's why we need you. We need someone like you to observe those things.
No, it takes a lot. Like, people are like, why is chicken $30? Okay, it's chicken, but the wine that was used to braise your chicken is a, Chateau Sauvignon, Cabernet Sauvignon. That is a 2004. Yeah. That is the value.
Yeah.
But it's just, people just like, why is this $30? There's value, but regular normal people don't process those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, you're not regular. You're not normal.
No. I always am like, can I speak to the chef?
Oh.
Is it possible?
You're that person.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you for it.
And you have to be, because they're like in the kitchen for like 16 hours.
Yeah.
Prepping just for one meal.
Well, that's beautiful that there are people like you that will actually give them that praise that they don't always get.
Yeah, because it's like, owners are making sure the profit, what is the overturning on the tables.
Yeah.
That's what they're focused on. No one is like, oh, you really did a good job on that.
Right.
And that's what it comes down to, the experience.
So one thing on Cocktails Over Coffee that we like to give are shots. And so by a shot, I mean something small, something strong and powerful that you want to pass on to someone. What shot do you want to give?
Whew. I think in this life, you only have one life to live. Be you. Authentically you.
Emphasis on authentic.
Authentic. If you want to be a clown to paint kids' faces because you love to see kids smile, do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Clowns make like $100,000 a year.
That's good to know.
Tax free.
You're making me think.
Yeah, like the Black Santa Claus in in Atlanta, he profits like $35,000 Christmas season cash.
That's huge.
Just from being Santa Claus, and he just loves the experience of seeing kids smile.
Okay. Noted for clowns.
Yeah, we're in a world where whatever you think is valuable is actually valuable if you make it valuable. We're no longer in a world where you have to do this because this is the, the paradigm, or you have to follow a certain path. It's like, no, whatever path you want to take it and make it valuable.
What's next for you?
Nutritional consulting. I want to give workshops across the world, across America, because especially in our community as Black and brown people, where the medical industry was not built for our benefit.
Yeah.
And we're being medicated, we're being instituted on a process that's really not for our bodies. And I would really like to educate people on that. So that's what's next.
I'm excited to see you do that.
Thank you.
Where can everyone keep up with you and figure out what's next?
Janine Cabrini on Instagram, JanineCabrini.com, JaneCabrini on Instagram, JanineCabrini.com. You'll learn everything between those mediums.
Thank you so much for being here, Janine.
Thanks.
So fun.
I'm
Cheers.
done, but
it was delicious, by the way.
was.
So good.